What's up, everyone? Welcome back to what is and forever will be known as the Sadistic Pixel Podcast. I guess that's what we're calling it.
The Sadistic Pixel Podcast.
We are four of the six members of the Sadistic Pixel group. This is Zach Dickerson. This is John Allen. I'm Justin Bright, and this is Trevor Baldwin. We make up, like I said, four of the six members. Our other two members being Kevin Moore and Benjamin Logan. We want to give a shout out to you guys. If you don't know anything about us, you should go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/sadisticpixel. We are just a group of four friends who sit around this cheaply made table and talk about just four different nerdy topics. Maybe eventually we'll evolve into, just talking about regular topics, but right now we mostly focus on gaming / movies, etc., etc., etc. So let's get right to it, and we're going to start with Zach's topic today. What's your topic, Zach?
My topic is, why do you think there are different collector's editions / pre-order bonuses? And what I mean by that is, if you pre-order from GameStop, they could easily have a different type of bonus or extra content you'll get from pre-ordering from Best Buy and stuff like that. And then, of course, collectors and special editions are obvious. Each place has different ones. Main one being Metal Gear Solid 5's collector's edition. Japan's is different, like by a small scale, depending on compared to America's. But why do you think that is?
So you're saying why sometimes with I think Call of Duty does it sometimes, you get a gun DLC at GameStop and maybe a map or something at Walmart for pre-ordering or buying from, or just buying from that store.
Why is there multiple ones and not just one set one?
Because everybody's got to get their own. Everybody got to get their own. Like if you have the same thing everybody else has, it's going to be nobody's going to be oh well, I have to go to Walmart to get this instead of I can just go to the GameStop and get the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's just based on what you want, really, I guess, because
what suits your fancy?
If I don't know if there's anything different from Metal Gear Solid, getting the day one anywhere else, but I know with what was it, GTA, I know you got a certain, I forgot what you got for pre-ordering at GameStop for the remastered.
You got $1 million in cash, $500,000 for the campaign.
Okay, between online and single player.
They do it. Well, I mean, a good example of it would be the Arkham games, where each different store has 3 different suits that are exclusive to the game, and they do it because the developers just eat it up. I mean, they're going to get paid that extra money to sell, be like, oh, here, come check out the old school Batman outfit. You can go to Best Buy and get that, or you can get the Batman animated series suit at GameStop or something. They do that because the developers do it because the companies are paying them money to do it, and so that gives people the choice for which suit they want. Now, do I think that what do I think of it? It's annoying.
I agree.
It's very annoying. I don't mind them when they're collector's edition in general. I love them because they're 2 or 3 years down the road, I always wonder why I bought them, because it's just a waste of space half the time.
Right.
But when they're exclusive to certain stores, I find that annoying, because then they just wind up being a part of DLC later on. And day one DLC and stuff. That stuff gets annoying. But if people complain about it and don't want it, then stop buying it.
Oh, exactly. I read an article a while back, and I don't remember what game it was exactly, but I think it was GameStop that got a lot of shit about it for paying developers, to have some kind of DLC exclusive to GameStop. And the article had an example at the time, because it was kind of a bigger. There was a reason the article was written about it at that time. I can't remember what it was.
I think I know what you're talking about. They've had a few things that were like that.
Yeah, I wish I could have found it or thought of it before the show, because I could have looked for it. But they got a lot of heat for paying the developers more money just to get probably some
little one
BS gun or something or whatever kind of game it was, and all that's doing is, I guess, to boost pre-order sales, which
they do it
are are bad anyway. But so I'm sure GameStop made their money back from what they paid the developers. So I don't know it seems like a tactic to, and essentially if they make enough money off of it, it's essentially screwing over the dev. Wouldn't you?
No,
I mean,
it just depends on how much they pay the dev to
Yeah,
have that
absolutely.
exclusive
I
content.
don't know how those contracts work.
I
But
mean, GameStop's going to do anything and everything they can to claw out of that hole they're starting to
I
get
know.
into right now. I mean, even digital orders are having pre-order bonuses and things like
Yeah.
that now. So
it's so bad when you go into one of their stores, and I'm not dogging them because I do use GameStop.
absolutely.
But it's so bad when you go into their stores, and these cashiers, you know that most of them hate doing it, but they're trying to shove all this stuff that down your throat to buy right at the counter.
Why don't you get this guidebook?
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
like, most of the time when I go in there, I can tell these people hate doing that, but they have to because it's their job.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
But-
and I'm not saying that GameStop is the worst, is the only one that does it, but I feel like they're one of the worst about it because I read an article once that said, at GameStop it's all about how much you can sell right then at the counter.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, their
So-
stock is ridiculous. I think last time I went into our local GameStop, like there were, I feel like at least 20 PlayStation TVs sitting behind that counter.
Yeah.
And I'm just like they're not selling these, so they're basically just going to be handing them out eventually. So
Exactly.
if you're waiting for a PlayStation TV, or if you're one of those people that want one, just wait because they're going to get really,
Yeah.
really cheap.
And they started doing bundles with them with
Yeah.
PS4s.
I mean, that's a
Yeah.
smart thing to do.
And which the thing with the Japanese Metal Gear Solid, I mean, they're making them there, so I mean, I guess
I understand that.
it costs a whole lot more to ship a full size arm
Oh, yeah.
overseas or bionic arm overseas.
Boy, do I want
So,
it though.
oh yeah, I mean, I would want it too. It'd just be like sitting on my desk, like
You'll be able. I guarantee you'll be able to
Oh
import
yeah,
one.
What is it?
I'll be looking for one for sure.
What does it look like? Is it like literally as big as my arm here?
It's as big as like from
Or
the
Snake's
elbow.
arm? Okay.
But just a.
Is it just like a straight up arm with like his?
And the hands posable, the fingers are posable.
What's the significance of that? Because I don't. Is there
In-
anything?
well, maybe if you played the game, Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, is there?
in the Phantom Pain? He loses his arm and it gets replaced by a red bionic arm, which is part of the collector's edition.
Oh, okay.
So all it is just his arm. His bionic arm.
Oh, you told me about it Tuesday, I think, and I mean, it sounds cool. I don't know the significance of it because I've
Even
never
us-
played them.
Even us Metal Gear fans still don't know really. The
Well,
significance
right,
about
but
it.
I mean, you
it's
kind of
just-
have an idea, I guess.
The only
like,
thing you've seen closer to it was in Peace Walker with Zadornov's
Yeah,
arm, because
you're
it's
right.
red, which people wondered if it's the same arm or if it's just based off of that arm.
yeah.
With Kojima, who really ever knows? I mean, we're not
Yeah,
gonna
you
really-
won't know.
We won't really know until the game comes out, and we still won't even know then. So I mean, he could change it years down the road.
Kojima's probably changing it now. Like he'll probably have some DLC it comes out with that changes the whole story.
Well, about DLC, or not DLC, about pre-ordering stuff. My stand on it is like I like it because I can make sure that I have what I want instead of having to be. It would create a whole lot more hype, I guess. Like more people would be standing outside of stores if they didn't have pre-orders because But I can get there and get my game a day after it comes, or like I think they hold it for 2 days at GameStop
Yeah, it's 2
before
days. Yep.
But at the same time, I don't like pre-orders because of like what's happening with GTA on the computer right now. People pre-ordered it a while back,
Yep.
and it's still getting pushed back.
Yeah.
And they're still getting the exact same thing they got the pre-order for. They don't get anything special, and they're pretty much they paid $60 outright to wait for a game that who knows when it's going to come out.
Right.
So
You know how amazing that GTA is going to be though when it finally comes out.
Oh
It's
yeah.
gonna-
And
PC
all the
screenshots
mods
look
and-
beautiful.
Yeah.
Modders are
All
gonna go
the mods.
crazy.
With like pre-orders and stuff for me, I mean, those incentives that that companies pay for, or really most of the time any pre-order bonus has never just been something where I'm just like, man, I need this. Most of the time I don't get collector's editions.
I don't know that money in GTA.
The last collector edition that I got was Fallout New Vegas, and man, that was just the biggest waste of my money. It's not because I didn't like the game. The game was okay. I mean, I didn't care a whole lot for it. I got glitched in the end of the game and actually never got to beat it on. But
Classic
it came with those
Fallout.
poker chips. Like I was like, man, those look so cool, and a deck of cards.
That big
and-
old platinum chip.
Yeah, and they're all just taking up space now that I done.
Well, I mean, like this is still to me the best collector's
Oh,
edition
yeah.
item I've ever gotten in my life, and like I mean, I'll keep him around for a while, but the rest of my stuff, I mean, I collect I collect Metal Gear stuff, but I mean I don't really keep it out anymore. I keep it kind of boxed up. I don't throw it away, but it just takes up space, and maybe it's just the old guy in me who's all about digital and things like that now coming out. But I mean I'm gonna get that Metal Gear collector's edition. I'm getting the Final Fantasy Type 0 collector's edition. So, and I'll get. I mean, my favorite video game series, I'll always get the collector's editions. But at the same time, I don't mind those. But I'm just one of those people who are just day one DLC or exclusive store DLC, because it's all
day one patches.
Yeah, it's all gonna come out for it eventually for the game anyway, and I don't know why they can't just all release it at once. But you can't blame the developers because they're making money doing it. I mean, they got to do what they got to do what they can.
And sorry, go ahead.
It was before we got off top of the DLC and everything, because this was just recently announced with the new Mortal Kombat game. They announced Jason Voorhees.
Oh yeah.
As a character, but it's part of the Combat Pack, which is another $30.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
And if you pre-order it day one, I think you get to play as Goro in Mortal Kombat. And if no one knows who Goro is, he's the guy with 4 arms.
It's the 4-arm dude from the
classic. I think like with me, I don't. I'm like you. I don't like day one DLC, stuff like that. Like, to me, that's just not what buying a game is about. Like, I'm not worried about what the extra I'm getting. Maybe later on, but like, it may just be like, the kid in me talking. But whenever back in like my PS2 days, I bought a game and that's what you had.
Yeah.
There wasn't a PlayStation store, an Xbox store to go and release DLC on. I mean, there may have been disc deals. I don't know.
They're trying to take the model that PC gaming has used for so long, but PC gaming does it right. Like Blizzard, for example, like DLC doesn't bother me when it's significant DLC.
Definitely. I like my DLC whenever it's good. But that day one stuff.
I just feel like with StarCraft, these last 2 StarCraft 2 games have technically been expansion packs, but they're basically full games. And Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls was a DLC, but it basically made the game better from what I understand. I've never played it, so I don't know. But I don't know. To me, when it comes to DLC in general, I like to be significant and not be on disc. That's why day one DLC bothers me. 5 to 6 months down the road, not really. If we get stuff like Shivering Isles, things like that, or Point Lookout, or just significant DLCs, it does not bother me at all.
Right, yeah, I encourage developers to do that because it, gives me more time to play. It adds more time onto this game that I love. But in terms of just first day DLC, I'm not worried about that. I want the game. I don't want the extra.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's nice. But like I said, most of the time, it's never been anything
just not worried
that
about
I've
that.
just freaked out over.
And this is back to your original point. You were talking about store exclusives. Unless you're ordering online, really the only place you can get store exclusives around here would be GameStop. I mean, we have Best Buy, but who buys their games at Best Buy? I mean, GameStop or Walmart. Were the only places I would go to buy a game.
Walmart's had a couple.
Have they?
How do you
not many.
How do you even pre-order at Walmart? I've never pre-ordered anything.
Walmart has these cards that you grab and you go up and pay for it.
It's a $5 card. Like you do at GameStop, you just put $5 down.
Yeah,
really?
That's how Walmart does it. I've never pre-ordered there. I've seen them.
I honestly cannot remember the last video game I've bought from Walmart.
I can't either.
Battlefield 4 when I bought my PS4. That's the last game.
Resistance 2 was the last one I bought, actually. It was the same day I bought Fallout 3. Well, my cousin bought Fallout 3 for me because he wanted it. Because he wanted to play it on my PS3. So that worked out. Yeah.
Monster Hunter 4 probably the last one, even though I technically haven't bought it yet. I have to give Zach the money for it since he technically bought it for me. But whenever he gets the money from me, then I guess it'd be technically the last game I got because it came from Walmart.
Yeah.
The real interesting question is how is it going to be in the future when it's mostly digital downloads? Will they have 3 different downloads you can choose from? I really hope that's not the case.
Oh my gosh.
You can imagine the chaos. Someone picks the wrong one. And then...
I imagine it'll actually get... Sorry, I just want to get this point in real quick. I imagine it'll eventually just be console exclusive DLC. We'll with Ground Zeroes, in the Xbox version you got the Raiden mission, and then in the PlayStation version you got the retro the retro Shadow Moses mission.
There was Deja Vu, and then
there's it's like Jamas View or something like that. But then a month later, they're both on each console.
Each one got it. Yeah.
I think you're like, I don't think if they put exclusive stuff on, it would probably cost more when it's exclusively digital. So it would end up not even mattering, because you're pretty much paying for the extra content. Yeah. So that's probably like when it goes all digital, probably next gen. I'm sure it'll be mostly digital.
I don't know.
We got a gen or two before it's just pure digital.
That's definitely a discussion we should have. Like that one will be a good discussion. Like it should be a full discussion on what we think next gen's gonna be like.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're all vary on how different we think it's gonna be. But that we could talk about that for an hour and a half.
Yeah, I know that's right.
But it's just like the Order 1886. I bought it on the PSN store, and I think it came with exclusive stuff, but I don't know. I mean,
there was pre-order bonuses for it, but
yeah.
I mean,
who knows?
I really don't know.
You just
don't pay
download it and play
attention to it.
it.
Exactly. You just want to play the game. That's
But maybe that's just like the old person in me. I really don't know. I mean, everyone's got a different point of view on that stuff, and everyone's entitled to their own view.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know. If it was the old person, you'd be strictly digital or physical. Well, I'm so flustered. Me and Zach are like the old man because we only play digital. It's like, gotta hold my game.
Gotta hold it.
There's nothing wrong with physical. I'm still collector's edition. I'm gonna buy physical. When I got my Xbox One and started playing Master Chief Collection, I could just boot it up from my home screen. I was like, man, this is so easy. And I bought, I can't remember, because I think Grand Theft Auto came out the week after, and I bought it on my Xbox One, and it was just such a pain just putting it in my disc drive. And I'm just like,
I have problems.
It's
not having anyone to play with.
Yeah, I know.
Me and Zach were left by ourselves.
Well, for me, it's preload. I mean,
I agree. I love preload.
I'm going to play Borderlands: The Handsome Collection at midnight.
Well, it'll probably be 11 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah,
or 11 o'clock our time.
I'm gonna. That sells it. For
I agree. Preloading is an awesome idea.
I love preloading if I actually did it. I wish I did sometimes because like with Dying Light, I wish I just bit the bullet because I love the game. I wish I just preloaded it instead, But it took forever to download.
Yeah, well, I mean
that's the only bad part about.
The Master Chief Collection was a disaster, Ben.
What was it? You're like 20. How was it? 20 gigabytes day one download.
Yeah, it was a 20 gigabyte day one patch, and luckily they released the patch a day or two ahead of time. So everybody who had to download that patch, who got the game that night and hadn't downloaded the patch, they were pretty much they couldn't play the game for a day or two. Like, I mean,
that's messed up.
It's just, I don't know. Day one patches, day one DLC.
I hate day one anything other than my game.
I know, I just want to play the game and for it to work.
Yep, I agree. So I agree that when it comes down to I don't.
Trevor's agreeing with himself.
It's like, yes, I agree with.
I agree with myself in this situation.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, with your original question, I say it's all about money, and there's nothing else.
You're wanting to know why it's the money situation, and it's just developers being like, hey, throw me that moolah.
Yep.
I mean, basically what it is. I mean, it's going to change. We're in the midst of the gaming change, hopefully for a more positive side of things.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I mean, didn't you play Monster Hunter? Didn't they just release free DLC for it with like Link?
Every month.
So, wow.
That's what they're doing every month. I think every first like Friday or some of the month, they're releasing a bunch of these event quests you can just download.
Like horse armor and things like that.
The horse armor. I've got that on my Oblivion now. Finally.
This isn't the first time they've done it. They've done this before with Monster Hunter, but this is now the start of them doing it again for this one.
And it's all free, right?
Yep.
See, I can appreciate that. Like it's add-on content that it's just you bought the game, so they're like, well, you're entitled to this. They're enjoying doing it. Rock Band, they did non-stop DLC every week.
But that's to me that's different. Like, I mean, it is and it isn't. It's like, to me, that's like going on iTunes and buying music.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I've just always thought it was really cool about how whenever that game came out, they promised DLC every week. And I believe for it was like 4 years straight every week.
Jeez.
Was it that long?
It was, I mean, there's like over 4,000 songs.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Every week there was new songs.
Hey, we're getting a Rock Band 4 this year.
I'm personally excited about it.
Your dad's probably not.
No, a lot of people are saying that it may be irrelevant, but I'm excited about it.
I think with those games, it just gets annoying having all that stuff.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I've still got that Rock Band stuff. It's like sideways in a closet. So like, like, man. But, I mean.
There's something really funny that we're talking about DLC. Highs finally came out.
Yep.
So we played the very first things, like a two-player like introduction type heist that you can do. Me and Zach played it. And you do it for Lester, and he said something really funny because, it's Rockstar just throwing in there. He said, I know you've been waiting a while for this, but you just weren't ready.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Classic Rockstar has commented on that.
Rockstar they're up there with one of the best developers.
Yeah.
They take their time, and people complain, but it's always worth it when you
they always deliver.
They deliver. And I feel like Rockstar is a good way to end that topic.
Yeah.
And this next topic, all four of us are big Vita guys. So, John, what's your topic?
Well, this is Kevin's topic that he pulled from us he got me last night. He wants to know what our favorite Vita game is, and wasn't really specified. So we're just gonna go with all around remade for Vita.
I don't think like PSP games and PlayStation games.
Actual Vita games.
Okay, games that were made for the Vita hardware. And since Zach's gonna sit over there and stew about this for a while, I feel like you should be the last one to go. You definitely are our biggest Vita player here.
Zach is Vita.
There's so many games that are so good. I don't know what to choose. Yeah, I'll think about that one for a minute.
So Justin, you start us, or do you want someone
else?
No,
I could start. I just I feel like me and John will probably be the least two playing the Vita. If we're going Vita exclusive game, this isn't going to surprise anybody at the table. It would be Uncharted Golden Abyss, because I actually think that game's better than Uncharted 1.
I agree.
But the best game on the Vita is Persona 4 Golden. And it was the first Persona game I played, so I was kind of late to the party on that one. But Persona 4 Golden, everyone told me how addicting it was. I started the game up on New Year's Eve, I guess it would be 2013, and I didn't even count down. I played Persona 4 Golden until 2014.
That's a good way to ring in the new year. It really is.
It was very addicting. I had Trevor telling me how amazing it was, and Ben, I will never forget when Persona 3 and maybe when Persona 4 came out. I can't really remember. He and I just started playing video games together. He disappeared off the face of the earth for 3 or 4 months. And
Persona's one of those games that'll do that.
I know. And
he went to the TV.
I would say if I played the HD collection for Metal Gear or Final Fantasy, those would be up there too. But I played those games on console, and I know they did a good job with the ports. But my two would either be Uncharted Golden Abyss, Persona 4 Golden. Vita exclusive, I'm gonna go with Uncharted Golden Abyss, but. Okay. But Persona 4 Golden is, to me, the best game overall on the Vita.
Well, mine's between Persona 4 and Danganronpa. Because I love that Dangan. Or however, I don't know how you say it, but Danganronpa.
That's close enough.
Yeah.
Dadgum Grandpa, I don't know.
I've called it everything but Danganronpa just because of all those other names you can.
Is it Danganronpa or is it Danganronpa?
I think I've always heard Danganronpa.
Because there is an N in that name.
Yeah, right. I've always heard just Danganronpa is how I've seen it.
I think my accent just makes me say Rompa.
Right. I
don't know. I just love it. So it's Persona, which I lost a lot of time to. And Danganronpa, which I lost a lot of time to, not lost, but experienced a lot of time
invested a lot of time in there.
Yeah.
Well, Danganronpa is just like a Persona without the RPG. Essentially, right?
Yeah, it kind of replaces the RPG with Phoenix Wright type stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So is that your number one pick? Okay. I guess for me, the best Vita native game, I'm going to have to agree with Justin, is probably Uncharted Golden Abyss. I really enjoyed playing that game, and I don't know why they haven't made even anything similar to that on the Vita, because that was a console quality game.
Well, it sounded like Sony Ben wanted to make Uncharted 2.
That article you sent us a while back, that's what they were wanting to do, was make another. I don't know, and what they were wanting to make it Infinite.
Yes, it's such a sad article to think about.
I know, I don't know why.
Ben wanted to make a Uncharted 2 on the Vita, and then and then like they, everyone thought it was rumored for a while we were going to get an Infamous on the Vita.
Yeah,
which
would have been awesome for the Vita. Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely my favorite Vita game because of just, it really showed off what the Vita can do. As it was a launch title, I believe, too, right? Yeah, it was. And that's amazing. Like, we're not getting games like that anymore on the Vita. As pretty as they were, and graphics don't matter, but for that
for something that just came out.
Yeah, that it really showed off what the Vita could do, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
The most fun I've ever had playing a game on my Vita would have to be Final Fantasy X. I never got to play it when I was younger, and playing it, I love playing my Final Fantasies on a portable system. I don't know why. I've always enjoyed being able to pick it up whenever I want to. That's just how I like playing my Final Fantasy. And being able to play 10 finally, after all these years on my Vita was just it was amazing. I loved it. I had a lot of fun doing it. It had one of my favorite stories on Final Fantasy. It had a little bit of everything in it that I loved. So that was the most fun I've ever had on the Vita. They did a great job with the HD remastering of it. So I guess Uncharted Golden Abyss would be my favorite native Vita title, and Final Fantasy X is my favorite port or HD remaster that they've ever done on a Vita.
And this is going back to me too. I don't want to sound like I'm a Vita connoisseur because there are like a lot of Vita games I haven't played. Like I heard the Killzone on the Vita was really good.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
And then
the Call of Duty Declassified.
Oh man.
And I've never done like Tales of Hearts R and
that's really good.
YS, things like that. These are games that I need to catch up on, but I'm just kind of like building up my Vita library for when they're just like, all right, we're done with the Vita, and then I can just
go into the backlog and do it.
This is why I'm really hoping Square Enix puts Saga and gives it just an English localization, please.
I want to play Saga really bad.
I really am worried on hyping Trevor up too much more because I really am just
hoping. Man, this is just garbage.
I'm gonna get it.
The last Saga game was.
Was it?
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about these. I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, but Atelier. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Like you do. I knew somebody would. If anybody, it's like Atelier. There's a bunch of them, and I've got this gigantic infographic on my phone that explains like different situations of how you play these games.
Yeah.
Like if you're wanting to play them for the story, like what order you play them in, or if like I'm just like, man, this is crazy. Like I've never heard these games.
Chronological or release order,
right?
And stuff like that.
The one that really sticks out to me was Atelier like Rorona Plus or something. I don't know.
Atelier Rorona Plus.
Yeah, but I've always wanted to try those. Apparently, they're really good on the Vita, and they're on the PS3 as well. And they may be elsewhere. I don't know, but that's a big.
That's
Vita.
the two I've mainly heard on.
Yeah,
PS3 and Vita.
So I feel like I've missed out on those in my Vita. So you're not the only one who has not.
I've missed out on a lot of it.
Because even though the Vita gets a lot of crap for not, having...
It's the best handheld ever made.
It is. And it does have a lot on it. It's just not for everybody. Like, the stuff that is on it may not be for everybody.
It's for hardcore gamers. Which I feel like is the way Sony's going right now with a lot of their games.
I agree.
Bloodborne wouldn't sell at all on the Xbox One. I mean, that's why Japan Studios, like, I'm sure they were like, we want to make this game. We should, make it exclusive for the PlayStation. So
let's not... Well, we shouldn't get on this. I had a conversation with Corey from work about how, well, that's not Corey, but that's Zach, but his friend Corey, who tried to argue with me that Xbox is better because, and I said, well, they're both in their own right. Xbox is for the more like casual multiplayer
absolutely.
Gamer, and PlayStation's for the more like, I don't remember how I put it. Hardcore, single player gamer because that's where most of those big games come out on. And he's like, no, that's not right. Xbox is just better all around. And I was like, are you kidding me?
No, I can't stand
I was
that.
like, have you even played
Corey all around.
I was like, have you even played Uncharted? He's like, that game's stupid. Have you played Halo? And I was like, Halo compared to Uncharted? Please.
He's talking about Corey Downey, by the way.
Oh, I know who he's talking about.
I figured you know.
I know.
I just gave him, I was like...
I gave him a pot shot last time we brought him up on the podcast, so I'm just going to take it easy on that one. I can rant and rave on why Uncharted 2 is better than any Halo game ever come out. And I'm a diehard Halo fan, and I'm a diehard Uncharted fan. But you know what? Xbox does not have Naughty Dog. So they automatically lose right there.
Exactly. Now, Corey, if you're ever watching this, I'd like to say that we love you, but fuck you.
I'm not saying that.
It's like, I love you, but you can just fuck off.
No, and I mean, I don't have a problem with the Xbox. It's just they have their niche, and the PlayStation has their niche.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I was a big online multiplayer gamer, I would more than likely go for Xbox because they do have better servers. And
Yes.
Yeah, by a long shot.
they do have better servers, and like that's where you find hardcore multiplayer gamers is on Xbox.
I am almost convinced that even though Destiny had all this exclusive I can't even say the word. Yeah, when it was so
exclusivity.
there you go. It was so exclusive with the PlayStation. The Xbox One. There is no way that the PlayStation 4 version sold better than the Xbox One because every one of my Xbox One friends list still plays Destiny.
I have like one or two people who
Yeah.
play Destiny on my
Yeah, I
list.
think I have one person.
There's my brother included. There's a lot of people who play it on the PS3 though.
Are there?
Yeah, my little brother plays. I watched him play, and there's still a ton of people online on the PS3.
Of course, at the same time, I have like 12 friends on my PSN friends list, and on Xbox, I have like 70 or so.
Yeah, I have a bunch of people I don't even know
I
on my
know.
friends.
Yeah.
I'm part of these group messages.
I had to get out of that one. It started getting too weird.
I have three. I have three now.
So
can
I was like, Trevor, what's
just-
going
I
on?
got one little side story. So I had this person add me on PSN, and the PSN name was Princess Eve, and she added me, or he, she, I don't know, added me into this group message with 80 other people on a text chat, and it is just blowing up. Okay, well, it's kind of slowed down now, except now I'm a part of 3 different group messages, and there's like the lowest amount of people that's in one of those group messages is 77 people. I just don't know how this happened, but I don't want to leave them because these people are they're funny. Like it's crazy in there. But anyway, that's just a little side story.
To give you an idea of what's in this group message, there's one person out of the group message added me. Not the same person I'm about to tell you now, but he always says, "Is your butt cheek spread apart or pushed together?"
This person, he sent that message like 15 times one day. Like it's asking if your butt cheeks are far apart or together. Like that is an example of what is going on in this group message. So anyway,
and
that's
I
a
didn't
little
know how to
random
answer.
That's a little random side story.
No, I mean that's what a podcast is all about, is getting off on these tangents. I mean, we started talking about Vitas, and we started dissing Xboxes, unfortunately,
Yeah.
and now we're all the way back to Zach, who is. Did we give you enough time to bake and think about what video game you're
I'm
going to
down
go
with
with?
3, but
Name one.
I know what my favorite one is, which
Alright.
it's between Danganronpa 1, Danganronpa 2,
And Danganronpa 3.
and Danganronpa 3, which is being
Which
made,
is in
but they have
development.
no idea what they're doing with it right now. It's
Yeah.
so far from here. And Persona 4 Golden, but Danganronpa 1 and 2 aren't technically Vita exclusive. They were on the PSP before they ever came to the Vita.
Was the second one, or was it just the first one?
I did not know
The
that.
second one was on the PSP as
Just
well.
in Japan, maybe.
Yeah, it was just Japan.
Ah,
they,
okay.
they never came over here that I know of. All I've heard is that they were on Japan.
They're on
They're
Japan.
on Japan. They're exclusively to Japan on the PSP because they had which I imagine they'll do this for the Vita as well at some point. But they had a bundle package for the PSP. You got the first and second game in one bundle for the PSP.
So the new Danganronpa game will be like the first new one made for the Vita.
As far as I know, yeah.
Cool.
It's gonna be a shooter, isn't it?
There's that one which I think that's being made for the Vita as well. Then there's also Danganronpa 3 that's being made.
Oh, really? That's
There
awesome.
is a 3.
Yeah, that's like, what is it like?
Another episode?
Yeah, another episode.
Another episode is the shooter
Okay.
that's coming.
And it's not actually Danganronpa. There's actually a Danganronpa
Yeah,
3.
it is
But
a
they're-
Danganronpa 3.
It's still the same company making both of them, though, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's still the
Okay,
same
yeah.
universe. It's
Spike Chunsoft? Is that how you say it?
Spike
I'm not-
Chunsoft.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be funny. I really think it's
Oh,
the
it's
name.
like a weird name.
It's an odd name, but yeah, After Story is still in the same universe,
Okay.
but
Okay.
it's just it follows some of the other characters. I think it tells more about what happens with the people in 2, but I'm not 100% on that. I haven't looked up more about it. Not much has been released with it.
That makes a lot more sense to me now because the first Danganronpa came out in February of 2014?
Yeah.
13.
Something like that. And the second one came out not long.
The second one came out
after
that September. I remember being really curious how they they did that, but
They were originally
no,
on the
I didn't
PSP.
know it was actually a game. Yeah, I didn't know these games were already made before, so that's cool. But anyway, continue.
But his favorite Vita exclusive that was just made for the Vita would have to be Persona 4 Golden out of the list since it was there. It was actually made for the Vita. But my favorite Vita game is Danganronpa 2. I mean, I love Danganronpa 1, and a lot of people have, the pros and cons, like 1's better than 2 in aspects, while 2 is better than 1. But I liked a lot of the characters in 2 more than I did in 1. Like, I connected with more of the characters before they were taken from me.
Yeah,
That happened to me in 1.
But what I really like, what it does is that it combines elements from Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, because the whole, trials and everything, cases and stuff like that. It combines that with
Hold it. Phoenix Wright?
Phoenix Wright,
Okay.
yes. And it has visual novel aspects, which it's basically all one big visual novel. 2, they improved like the moving around a lot, but it's between 1 and 2. And it also has dating sim elements because you improve your relationships with the people.
God, dating sims.
Not in the sense to get with them, but you get more of their backstory,
Yeah.
which is really neat. Because like once you get their affection level all the way up, you basically learn more about that person, like who they were before all of this, like what happened to them and stuff like that, which it's all in the story, which if you play the main story, you can't really finish each person because somebody's going to get killed off before you finish it unless you focus on them. So they also add this like after school mode, which basically it's just one big dating sim. You just go and talk to everybody and you get their backstories. But 2 was just so good. They improved a lot of the mini games from the first one, except for I think Hangman's Gambit.
God, I hate that one so much.
It was better in 1 than it is in 2. It was just, they made it more complicated than it needed to in 2.
I believe you.
But I'm excited for 3 to come out. But yeah, Danganronpa 2 would have to be my favorite all-around Vita game, but my favorite Vita exclusive that was just made for it would be Persona 4 Golden.
But wasn't Persona 4 Golden on the PS2?
Persona 4
Persona
was.
4
I know
was.
Persona 4 was, but it was Golden. Persona 4 Golden wasn't on the PS2. Okay.
Persona 4 Golden added new things.
Yeah, well,
they had
I knew they added the extra dungeon with what's her name?
Marie.
Yeah.
There wasn't a Persona 4 Golden on the PS2.
Well, I mean that's you're hearkening to Japanese games. They're really about the last support that the Vita has right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean it makes me wonder if they're ever going to stop localizing games. Even if they just, I feel like it wouldn't be hard for them to just do English translate. They don't even have to do English voice acting and just do text.
I can work with that because the day that the Vita dies will be a sad day for me.
The day that I die.
Well, what I always find about the Vita is, it doesn't sell. I mean, it sells. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a flop, which it kind of is, but the Vita fans are so hardcore.
Yeah.
That the games sell. They sell okay. It's just the hardware doesn't sell. So I don't know.
I think what'll probably happen with it is the day that stuff start, like whenever Japan localization stops getting supported for it, I feel like we'll start seeing Kickstarter and Patreons to support, like maybe these groups will ask for donations to translate or somehow get it over here to us. Like there's people that, like for Type 0, for example, there's this group of people that made a whole English patch for it.
Yeah. You also got to have to deal with, I mean, the guy that made that, I think his name was Skyblade Cloud or something, his internet name. But Square ordered him to take that down.
Yeah.
That they did not allow that. And I actually have that translation on my version of Type 0 on my PSP. But that was that's another thing with that is you have to deal with the company because like I say Square they sent him a cease and desist on that.
Really, they don't like. They got a couple of Vita exclusive games I think in Japan, like something like Chaos Rings or something. I really don't know what the game's about. They just don't want to. I guess they don't think they're gonna make any money over here. So
which. Square was like, whenever you told me about that was the first I've ever heard of something like that because which I've played a lot of visual novels, and you're hell bent to find any in English. Like, there's a few that are actually.
Right.
The one that I played that was probably in English that I know of was made in Canada.
Yeah.
And everything, which that was surprising. But the only way you can really ever play those is if you either one know the language or you download English patches that people make, which you don't hear anything about companies telling them to stop.
And this is just like when a couple of weeks ago I was talking about the Police Knots game. Like the only way, I mean, you could play it in Japanese, but back in 2009, that game came out in 1995. Like a group just got together and made an awesome English translation for the game in 2009. I mean, there was a lot of excessive swearing in the game that I'm sure was not in the original game, and that game plays almost like a visual novel, like point and click. Yeah. And then there's another example, like a more recent example for a big game was Mother 3, you know, which is the Earthbound sequel.
Yeah, I wish Mother 3 came out over here.
And like that game, I had an English translation. I guess like supposedly they did a really good job, and Nintendo didn't say anything. Like I feel like Nintendo should be like
yeah.
Nintendo should be like, hey, we want to take this fan translation and put it on the Wii U. That's what they should do. But
yeah,
I think the big thing with Square was probably because they had plans.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was because they were getting ready to release it. I mean, still though, I mean, like that guy, he spent a long time on that. I kept up with on his website, and you know, I know he put at least 1.5 years to 2 years into it.
Absolutely.
But so that had to be a hit right there. But maybe he knew what he was getting into.
It's like, all right, it's done. Square's like, nah, stop.
We're gonna bring it out and not put it on the console everybody wants it on, the Vita. So,
unfortunately,
I guess that's a good way to close that topic.
Yep.
Thank you, Kevin, for that awesome Vita topic. All right, so my next one's gonna be. I really don't know how you guys are gonna react to it because this is just more of a personal problem I have, and it drives me crazy. It's a very big first world problem, and it's called video game backlogs.
Yeah.
And how you feel about them? Do they drive you crazy? Do you not worry about them? Do you just let them pile up and never play the games and then just trade them all in? Like I don't know. Like, what are your opinions on video game backlogs?
Well, back in the day, they would have driven me crazy, but now there is just too many games,
and so little time to play.
Exactly, because you know we're growing up. Justin's grown up a little faster. He's an old man.
He's genetically enhanced clone. He ages quicker.
Justin, I know. I might pull out one of those creepy strawberry candies here in a minute, and no one knows where you get them from.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I remember those. But anyway, used to they would have driven me crazy, but now I've just kind of started to come to terms with the fact that I'm never gonna catch up, no matter how hard I try. So I have to start making sacrifices because we all know as you get older, you have less time. You know,
you have responsibilities.
School, job, everything takes, because in fact, I'm not 10 years old anymore where I can wake up on a Saturday morning and sit in my pajamas all day and play SpongeBob on the GameCube, And
which SpongeBob?
You're for Saturday.
Oh, no. It wasn't that bad. But, that... It just doesn't work like that anymore. So I think I've started to come to terms with the fact that my backlog is, of the past. And I'm going to, if I have extra time, of course, I will go back. I will have to pick a game from that. I still have my backlog, but I'll have to pick a game and say, well, I have time to play this, finally. But in terms of will it ever get finished? No, because games come out too fast for me to ever.
And it's about to get really hectic the next few months. Like with all these like hardcore RPGs like Witcher 3 and Bloodborne and Final Fantasy and like then Batman comes out in June and oh my gosh, it's just these games that take 40 to 60 hours to beat and then 100 hours to completely complete if you're a completionist like me. So
Dragon Age, that's 80 to 90 hour story. Like I'm finally gonna actually sit down and play it this summer. And, I hopefully, I know you're giving me that look.
I was giving Zach a look that was about you.
But, that's my opinion on my backlog is that I'm probably never going to finish it as much as I want to.
I mean, that's...
Persona.
Yeah, Persona 4 is
right at the end.
But go ahead, Justin, what were you about to say?
No, I was just going to say, I was just thinking about it because this weekend, I really like the game. It's an alright game, but I've been trying to get through Dying Light, and
Yeah.
and I really it's a fun game, and I understand why you guys liked it so much, but I can't sit there and play it for 3 or 4 hours straight. It's not one of those games where I can do that. I can pick it up and play it for an hour or two, and I don't know. Like I knew that Final Fantasy was coming out next week, and Final Fantasy 15. Okay, Mister, I haven't ever finished Final Fantasy 10.
I don't know.
We can all take shots at each other on this one.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I like Dying Light is a
No,
it's a
no,
fun
no,
game.
Sadistic Pistol. Sadistic Pixel
All right,
Podcast.
I'm gonna
Let's
go
take
ahead and
pot
just
shots.
tell everybody on this camera we are gonna mess up that name so many times.
Yep, Statistic Pixel. That's
Yes,
it.
it is.
That was the first.
Presented to you from Justin Bryan. So,
Justin Bryan.
but like Dying Light was like this bad relationship I was trying to get out of, where I just play it slowly, and I was like, I'm gonna keep playing this. I'm gonna platinum it.
Maybe it'll get better.
And then like I'll just be doing something, or and I'd die in the game and be like, yeah, I'm done with this game.
Yeah.
And I finally deleted the game off my PlayStation 4, and I was like, all right, I'm resetting everything. Final Fantasy is my focus, and like I've got all these PS3 games like Demon Souls, and
Yep.
I want to go back through BioShock Infinite, especially with the Burial at Sea DLC. I never played that. I heard was amazing.
I didn't know they had that.
Really? Yeah, it was like supposed to tie in BioShock like 1 and
that's
Infinite
awesome.
all together, and it was like Ken Levine's last hurrah.
Yeah, I did hear about that. I heard it was really good. Actually, now
It
that I
goes
think about
back
it.
to
It was all over
Rapture.
Twitter.
No.
I want to play that.
Zach's about to go on a hunt.
I gotta get ready for that hunt, y'all.
No, I just like I'm bad about buying a bunch of games. I mean, even you were gonna choke me for Dying Light. I bought Majora's Mask, and I was like, why did I buy this? I don't know. I've beat it so many
Trevor's like,
times.
you know why you
You have, I know, you have beaten it, so I mean, I
But
understand.
still, I shouldn't buy these games.
I-
I'm to the point now. Why do I have every console already? Why?
The
Like,
backlog just keeps increasing.
it does. I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm buying game one at a time, and I'm just
I
gonna.
know,
I'm just
see-
gonna complete them.
I know I'm guilty of that too. That's why I have decided that.
You don't trust me?
No, I just had a really weird cough. Like thought I was about to sneeze, and I stopped myself, and then I went.
It's all right.
I have decided that I'm gonna wait on Type Zero actually and get the Handsome Collection, Borderlands Handsome Collection, because it's a game that I do want more right now. And I'm still gonna play that 15 demo because, well, it's 15. I want that game so bad. Like that is the game to beat for me right now. Like I'm ready for that game. So
I should have found a paid demo.
Now there are games that will make me like drop everything
Right.
I'm playing at that time. Like when Phantom Pain comes out, if I'm not done with that game, then or whatever game I'm playing at that time, Phantom Pain
Bye,
comes
I'll
out,
see
I know.
you.
I mean that Phantom Pain's gonna be. I will platinum that game, and I'm sure it's gonna take me 300, 400 hours to do it, but I'm gonna do it.
yeah, you guys did get your demo for Phantom Pain. You shut it.
Ground Zeroes. I guess
Yeah.
technically Ground
Ground
Zeroes.
Zeroes.
I mean
It's like a small taste.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what-
gonna be terrible at Phantom. If it's anything like Ground Zeroes, I'm gonna be terrible at it. It's gonna take forever because I suck at Phantom.
I think like that
Or
that
Ground Zeroes.
that month before Phantom Pain comes out, I'm just gonna like train myself.
That's
in
probably
Ground
what I'm
Zeroes.
gonna have
Gotta
to
get
do.
ready. Have like a Rocky montage.
Yeah, well, I got good at it, and then after I completed it, I was just like,
I have not made above. No, I made a B on one mission, and that's as good as it got. Like,
There are tricks to each one. Like there's this one mission where you like sneak in a truck, and if you just hang out in the back of it, and when it parks, all you have to do is jump out, climb up a ladder, grab the thing, jump down, get back in the truck, and it'll drive you out, and you get an S rank.
Yeah, it's you gotta get the cassette tape. You gotta meet some guy, like an
I didn't know
informant. And
You don't even have to interrogate that.
Yeah,
guy.
it's if you know where the cassette tape is, you can just go get it.
that part made me so mad because that guy, I tried to like grab on to make him
Just throw him down.
Yeah, I'd like sneak around the side, and he'd walk and be like, "Huh?" And I'd like shoot him and kill him, and then it'd have to restart it.
John.
I don't even have a backlog. Every game
That's
I
good.
play, I play it. I beat the story on it, and I'm
That's
done.
good.
You're one of the lucky ones.
Well, that's just how I play, yo.
No, I mean
That's
I finish my games
great.
too, but I'm bad about seeing deals on Amazon. Like I bought Demon Souls for like
Yes.
$15, and I was like,
There you
oh,
go.
I'm gonna play this, and it's
Still
still in
sitting
its
there.
That's an
shrink
investment
package.
right there, Demon Souls.
Well, that's what I do. I buy games, and I end up playing like one before another, you know.
Yeah.
But I've always been about at least beating the story. Like I'd like to I'd like to get like a bunch of platinums, like the great CMS.
Oh my gosh, I
But
wish I could be as good as that guy.
I can't. I'll buy a game and beat the story of it,
And
maybe.
stop.
Yeah, and then I'll go play something else, and I'll come back and play it again. I go through rotations of games. Like right now, I'm playing GTA again. And once we stop playing, online every day, I'll probably go and play some NBA for a little bit, and then I'll go play some Ground Zeroes, and then I'll play The Order again, and I just have a rotation of the same games I'll play until a new game comes out, and that keeps everything kind of fresh instead of playing
Yeah.
I'm by no means a completionist for my games, but I don't know what it is about some games that I get into. It's not even about the trophies for me. With Borderlands 2, I just want the best gear. I don't.
Yeah,
it has no meaning. It has no meaning.
I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm a trophy whore, but I'm just a completionist in general.
That's how you.
Final Fantasy X, I wanted every best weapon, so I sat there and played Blitzball for 12 hours straight just to get Waka's best weapons.
Right. I mean, that's just like how you said before. That's just how it was whenever you were younger. You didn't get games all the time, and I didn't either. But I was an ADHD child, and you couldn't keep me focused on one thing for more than.
What are you now?
I'm still an ADHD child.
ADHD fan.
Yeah. Maybe a kid at this point, but.
No, I'm just kidding.
I just get. I wait on my games too. I'll see what you think, or whoever's played it, I'll see what they think, and I'll read multiple reviews over it.
Yeah.
And then if I think I'll like it, I'll go buy it.
Yeah.
Or I'll rent it. Thank God I rented WWE 2K15. If I wouldn't have bought that game, I would have been so mad because I hated it. I hated every second I played of it.
But Corey loves it.
You're going to have a fun discussion with Chris at work Tuesday. Or I guess Monday now, but
yeah, he loves that game.
He bought WWE 2K15.
Corey loves it too, and I told him he was an idiot.
I've been playing the crap out of it. Or I guess Chris has, I know.
If no one knows, sorry for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about. We're talking about fellow people
Work
at our
employees.
other job. But Zach,
Your backlog.
you got a Vita backlog. I'm sure that's
I've got a few backlogs.
So many logs.
I've come, kind of like how Trevor said, but I've come to accept that backlogs don't end, they just increase. I mean, once you get a good backlog started, that thing's not ending.
No.
But, right now, I still want to go through Persona and get a platinum for it. 'Cause I've got, maybe 5 or 6 trophies I got to get.
Yep.
Some of them are hidden, so I got to look up what those are.
I can tell you what they all are.
But I've got that. Then I recently got Virtue's Last Reward.
I don't know what that is.
It's great.
I believe you.
I don't know. Have you ever heard of 999?
So it's like a
Virtue's Last Reward is like a spiritual successor to 999. It's a big visual novel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
999 originally came on the DS, and they did Virtue's Last Reward on the DS, but they also brought it to the Vita. I originally played it on the DS, and I got 6 out of the 14 endings, and I have started that all that over again. So there's a lot of time to be invested in that. So I haven't even begun to get onto that yet. And then I've got Majora's Mask.
You'll never beat it.
I will be eventually. Like I told you, I don't want to start it and
Yeah.
not be investing, because I'm so invested in the Monster Hunter.
That's how I am.
Exactly, I understand.
Except the Monster Hunter part.
I'll never get as far as y'all in Monster Hunter. So
I'm pretty sure I've gotten farther than Zach now in some things.
Yeah.
I'm just starting to grind a lot of stuff to get good gear.
So this is what happens when he's tired. He starts talking about himself. No one gets my joke. You reference Zach.
Yeah.
And no one knows that there's.
We're
no
all-
I'm
Zach.
farther than Zach. I didn't.
I'm
Think
farther
about
than myself than I am now. But now
Dang it! Sorry, Justin.
It's a bad joke.
No.
the backlog is starting to increase more because I started to play Counter-Strike again.
Oh, that is a bad life.
Yeah, Counter-Strike is, which you don't even complete Counter-Strike. I mean, it's
No.
just.
Is it even possible for Steam users to complete a backlog? I feel like I don't know because I don't get on Steam. I feel like you just go on there and you see a sale and you have to buy the game. Is that what happens?
I have 25 games,
Yeah.
and most of them are just sitting there. I haven't even downloaded them yet.
Yeah.
I just have them.
It's just
I've got a bunch of games from those humble indie bundles that I paid $1 for and got like 6 games that I'll never play. Like I buy it for one game that's in that bundle usually.
But it's usually a good deal.
Yeah.
I mean, back to the original question, I do like the backlog in a sense that it lets me know in a way, you know, I've still got something I can go and play and try to complete to, you know, not just do it and then, you know, get bored of it and get out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that'll happen still with something. You just got to be in the mood for some games. Like games like Persona, you got to be kind of in the mood to play those. Cause
I understand.
Yeah, because you got to invest a lot of time, you know,
Yeah.
for games like that. So
that's why I'm kind of setting like Majora's Mask aside, and then Virtue's Last Reward as well. Virtue's Last Reward will probably be the last game that I'll try to play because it's going to take a long time to fully beat that game. Especially how long it took just to get 5 of those endings, or 6, however many I said. I got a few of them. And there's a
You
lot.
said 6 the
6.
first time,
But in which now I can feel the backlog starting to increase more because they announced the first 3 Phoenix Wright games on the eShop. I
you
want
can
them.
get them on your phone too, though.
shoot, I'd play anything on my DS over my phone any day.
I played the hell out. I beat the first Phoenix Wright game on my phone.
It was actually a good port. I tried the first 2 cases.
I don't doubt it. I just don't like sitting and playing games on my phone.
This is where you and me being older gamers will come into effect because I agree with you.
Yeah, I can't. I can play a game on my iPad or my old iPad, but not.
I would rather play it on my.
And now you just lost Justin.
Oh, it's okay. I'm fighting a losing battle right now.
No, it's rare that I would actually play a game on my iPad. But
I would rather
other
play
than Super
them
Hexagon
on my DS. Because whenever I get them, it'd be on the eShop.
Yeah,
We're
How
at
much is
the
it going to cost?
we're at the end of a handheld.
I know.
Well over $20.
Except for
It's not
Nintendo.
much.
Nintendo's about
Yeah.
the last thing we got left.
Stupid phones.
I don't even remember how much I paid. I just remember I do have it. I have it. Let me look. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I like the backlog in a sense for that. I mean, I'm not mad I've got a backlog. It just means I've got stuff I can do. But
Yeah,
it's time. It's just a.
It does leave you with, you know, options whenever there's nothing else, you know, like for me, because I'm not excited about, I mean, I'm excited for y'all about Metal Gear Solid 5, but I've never played them, so I'm not, you know, freaking out about it. But and since Uncharted 4 got delayed till 2016, I don't have a whole lot else to look out for.
There will be an Uncharted HD collection.
I know there will, and that'll add, which I have beaten them. So I don't know if that can, you know, if.
Oh,
I
you're not
don't know.
going to replay Uncharted 1.
No, I've, you know what? I just lied because I've never beaten Uncharted 1, so maybe I will play that. But
Just like I'm not missing much.
yeah, I know I'm not.
I mean, I'm like, it's not bad.
No.
You just Uncharted 2.
But if you played
You get
Uncharted
that
2,
Uncharted 2, you just
Yeah.
don't want to go back.
see, I've played Uncharted 2, so Uncharted 1 was kind of hard to go back to.
Yeah.
But like I say, yeah, that gives me time to play these games because I think, other than the Handsome Collection and our buddy Zach Davis did mention that Just Cause 3 was coming out. I will get that, but it's not something I'm like, you know, freaking out over.
Yeah.
But I do want it. But other than that, I don't have much, you know, to look forward to for this year because there's no Final Fantasy 15.
Not yet, you don't.
Not yet.
E3, I think Sony's gonna announce a game for the fall.
They have to. I feel like they have to.
They don't have to.
They
Order
have-
2!
Yeah, they've got a week line.
No, like you say they have to, but I don't think they have to. Because,
Well, yeah,
I mean,
maybe they don't, but
Like I know a lot of people are against it, but Sony made a brilliant move by getting that indie scene. I mean, you know, I really don't even want to call them indie games anymore. I feel like all games should just be games. AAA, games are games. I mean, indie games are the way it's going. I mean, there are going to be more of them all the time, and the AAA games are going to be less numbered. Gone are the days of the PlayStation 1 and 2 where we had like a AAA game 2 or 3 times a month. So
yeah.
I wonder if their announcement for the fall, I wonder if they'll push Halo games into releasing No Man's Sky in the fall.
No, there's no way that game's coming out this year. I'm sorry, John.
They've announced it for summer.
Yeah. How about that Uncharted 4?
They've been working on this a whole lot longer than Uncharted 4.
I know, but they don't have the money and resources as much as Naughty Dog does either.
That's true.
And there's nothing
I have
wrong
a
with
feeling
that. I don't have a problem with delays because it's only going to make the game better. I have a problem with companies announcing games 2 or 3 years ahead of time and them not coming out.
Yeah.
That's why I am hoping with all my hope that Bethesda is just like Fallout 4 is coming out in 4 months.
Yeah.
And then it
Nice.
sells like crazy, and then companies are like, oh, we should all do this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what they should do.
I agree
I have
completely.
I have a feeling Fallout 4 will be before Christmas or like a month after the New Year or something.
Like well, it won't be after New Year. If it's anything, it'd be like the month, or it'd be like a week or two before Thanksgiving.
That's
That
what I would
be awesome.
like.
Yeah, that would.
$22.49. So much that trilogy is on the eShop right now. Marked down from 30. That was bothering me. I don't know how much it actually was.
I looked it up. The Ace Attorney thing was only like $5 on my phone, but I have it, so.
And this is back. Sony they're making a big PS4 game, which is they're the company that used to make Siphon Filter, and they're the one that did Uncharted.
If they made another Siphon Filter game, I'd probably like it. I loved the.
It'd be interesting. I just don't. I don't have.
I don't
feeling.
see them doing it.
I don't either. And then there's Santa Monica Studios, which they're obviously God of War won't come out this year. God of War will be either 2016 or 17 game.
You just kind of broke Zach's heart a little
But
bit.
he knows.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that maybe Santa Monica Studios working on another game, or maybe Quantic Dream announces their new game this year. They're the
Yeah.
ones that did Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls.
That'd be cool.
Okay, we'll just forget Beyond Two Souls.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
let's not even talk about Beyond
I
Two
never
Souls.
played it, but I heard it's not that great. But
Backlogs.
yes,
I don't
They're-
have one.
John's the lucky one. He doesn't
They
have
drive me
one.
crazy.
yeah, but they're good. I
Yeah.
guess they got their pros and their cons, but it sucks that you'll never get to play them all. But
Yeah.
I guess the only thing that would count on a backlog is I did have Smash Bros on there for a while, but I'm playing the hell out of it now, so.
I mean, everyone's different. Everyone has different time and different. I don't know. If I can just make a living playing video games, I still probably wouldn't have time.
There's not enough time in the day.
Nope.
Yeah.
Unless you don't sleep. That's why I give props to people who play, and that's why I can't play MMOs. Is just because, like,
Nathan Oliver.
yeah,
no, I more prop to him. I mean,
No,
I
no,
think
it's
I
good on
think
him.
it's awesome that like people can invest that much time into it. I would love that. I mean, but I guess
It's weird. I can invest so much time in like RPGs and stuff
Yes.
like that, but I can't in MMOs.
Yeah.
MMOs are just not my cup of tea, really.
yeah, I understand. Even though I do want that Heaven's Sword expansion pack
oh,
collectible stuff.
Does that go back to like the Final Fantasy VIII place or something like that?
No,
I heard something. It had something to do with Final Fantasy VIII, I thought, or something.
I don't think so. But I'm really not sure. Final Fantasy VIII takes place in Balam Gardens and Seed, and it's more of a futuristic cyberpunk type setting.
that
Yeah,
that
that's
collector's
not fun.
edition does look really cool though. For that,
Those Japanese people know how to do
Yeah.
those collector's editions.
I will agree to that.
But enough about backlogs. Trevor, you're gonna finish us off today. What's your
All
topic?
right. Well, my topic is I want to know what the most emotional moment in gaming you've ever had, and that doesn't have to only be happiness and sadness. It can be any emotion, anger. It just whatever. At any point.
A lot of games.
Well, yeah, I know.
So much anger.
But at any point, maybe not just from dying, but like at any point in your life that you can think of, what was the most powerful emotion you've ever felt while playing a game? And
Go
John.
ahead. No,
Okay.
I just have mine.
Okay, for me, it was the fact whenever I finally beat Final Fantasy IX. Okay, I was that was the first game I ever got for my PlayStation 1 that Granny bought me, and I could never beat it. I was young and I
Shout
wasn't.
out to Granny.
Yes, shout out to Granny. I was not good at. I looked at you when I said that, but
Yours Granny now.
you're my Granny.
I'm old, but I'm not
No,
Granny.
You're not Granny. But anyway, that was the first game I ever got for my PlayStation 1 at a yard sale, and I loved it because my cousins were all playing it, and I was like, yes, I finally got that game, I'm cool now. But I was not good at it. It was the first RPG I ever had, and I was not good at it. So I could never beat it. I don't remember how far I actually got, but it maybe disc 2 or 3. But anyway, a couple of years ago, I started playing it on the Vita. Or actually, I played it on the PSP originally, after the PS1, and I got to the final boss and could never beat him. That happens to me a lot in Final Fantasy. It happened to me on 4. But, and then a couple of years ago, I finally got it. I downloaded it on my Vita and played it, and I was at the final boss. I was like, okay, I can do this. I'm a higher level this time. I got the gear, and I was riding to Paducah, which is a town that way, and with a couple friends, and I beat it. And I was sitting in the back seat with headphones in. I told them I'd be back to them in a little bit, and I was literally back there crying in the back seat because I had finally beaten this game after all these years. I mean, I was full on tears. I was crying.
That's a good emotion. That's a good story.
Yeah, it was the most emotion I've ever had in a game, and it may, and a lot of it's because of nostalgia. Like I had finally done what I couldn't do as a kid. But
nostalgia is a very strong emotion.
It's very powerful, and that was it for me.
Yeah.
Like I say, it wasn't that. I mean, the ending was a happy ending, but it was nothing worthy of what I mean, I was just pouring it back there,
able to complete it after so long.
But that's my story on the most emotional moment in gaming for me.
Mine involves me crying as well, which I'm sure everybody knows what this is about to be.
I think
Crisis Core.
Yeah, I knew.
Crisis Core.
Hero.
Okay, spoiler alert. So everybody has time to skip ahead. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but spoiler alert. Anyway, at the end of Crisis Core, you basically fight like an endless, amount of enemies coming at you and shooting at you. Yeah, and you're trying to protect the safe Cloud, and
Who?
Cloud.
Who's Cloud?
Never heard of him.
Yeah, okay. Okay,
You got me.
only the main character of Final Fantasy VII, I think.
Yes.
I mean, I knew he was the main character, but I didn't know if like everybody else counted too. But eventually, you're gonna die because there's just no way to beat it. I tried, I was like top level on that game, and like I was blocking all these shots, and eventually I just had to give up. But it goes to this whole dialogue where like Cloud comes to you and like makes this really loud crying sound. But like I just remember I was sitting in this very room because this is where I lived, and I was sitting on my bed, and I was probably where Justin's sitting right now on my bed, just playing, and then it happened. And I remember like it started raining. It goes to this whole dialogue, and it's like at the very end, Cloud, do you think I became a hero? And just tears were running down my face, and like it's just because I got so attached to that whole game. Like
It's a good game.
I love Zach Baff as
What?
Zach Baff.
Zach
I love
Fair.
him too. Yeah, Zach Baff. I was thinking,
And it's not Zach Bapp, it's Zach Braff.
well,
I like him too. Zach Fair. It's okay.
Zach Fair squats.
Zach Fair's
I love Zach Fair as a character, and it really.
Baff.
Well,
That's
John
a good
David's been
one.
watching a lot of Scrubs, so like.
That's a good one.
But yeah, I got attached to him and like Aerith.
Aerith.
I don't know.
Aerith. Yeah.
That's all conflict right there.
There's a bunch of Japanese names I just can't do.
It's alright.
Okay. I'm gonna stop that story for a minute. It's not Japanese names. It's Square naming their characters some really weird names. I
Yeah.
think there's
I
a
just
character
figured-
in Final Fantasy 15 named Prompto.
Prompto. Okay.
Isn't it that little
It's the blonde guy who supposedly is like the voice acting is really bad.
Oh,
so
I
I
can't-
cannot wait.
I
to
can't
play.
wait.
I'm Prompto.
I can't wait to hear like a
No.
really
Like,
squeaky high
And
voice.
it's funny because he's like a Cloud ripoff.
Yeah.
And he's supposedly like the voice acting for the other three is really good, and then you just hear this guy talking, and you're just like, oh my god.
Just like, shut up, Prompto, please.
Classic Prompto.
I just
Prompto.
thought-
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
Well,
your
I
story.
just figured like they were real Japanese names that I just am too hick to be able to pronounce.
You are pretty hip.
Yeah, I'm hip too. But yeah, that's it.
That's a good one.
So much,
Yeah.
so much feels, so many.
The feels.
Me or you, Zach? Who goes first?
I have
oh,
I have a
okay.
couple stories. I mean, I have like a nostalgia story, like with Trevor, but I wouldn't really say it's my most powerful one. But
What is your most powerful one? I want to know that one.
most powerful one had to be playing Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah, because that ended cut. Or are you talking about the end?
Yeah, I mean, you're starting off and everything, and the boss was your mentor in the whole game, and you're like, oh man, she's awesome, she helped with all this stuff, and then she betrays you, or she betrays her country.
And then she doesn't really betray
Yeah,
her
she does.
country.
It leads you to believe that she was a traitor, and you're like, oh man. Like back then, I was like, bitch. So, I'm gonna portray USA. I'm gonna get her. And then by the time you get to the final fight with her, you find out she wasn't really a traitor.
And you're sitting there like, why does she sound like Diane Simmons from Family Guy?
This is so weird. You find out she isn't a traitor and everything, and she did this for her country, but she had to take the fall or else, to go to war. They had to make her a traitor, but she was the best patriot there ever was. She died for her country by betraying her country, in a sense. And you have the only one that can kill her is you, because you're her protege, and you're the only one that can do it. Now you're just led to believe she was this bad guy, and you're wanting, you're kind of like wanting to kill her and get rid of her, and then you find that out, and you're like, well, now I don't want to, because she's really a good guy, but you have to do it. I mean, that whole final cut scene where she's talking about how you're her son and stuff like that, and that very suggestive scene where she busts open her shirt with the scars, like, look at the scar, it's like a snake.
Kojima? Suggestive scene?
Never. And then you fight her, and just at the very end, it's like there can only be one boss and one snake, and just gives you her gun, which was the Patriot, which was a gun with a cylinder, a figure 8 cylinder, which had infinite ammo, because, games. And you're just sitting there, and like at first I didn't know what I had to do. I thought I was just going to sit there, and then I found out you had to hit the button to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And you kill her. I was like,
You're just standing there that, you're like, what's going on? You just stand there, did my game freeze?
And then I hit a button and shot, and I'm like, ah! It's like, I had to kill her. She was a good person. And then the whole, the last few cutscenes where you're basically getting the Medal of Honor and stuff like that, and the president or somebody's wanting to shake your hand, you just don't.
And then he's standing in the graveyard, and he tears up, and you can go in the first person mode, and his eyes are blurry and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's cool stuff.
It was just powerful. It was so powerful.
Zach, I don't want to do this to you. I'd like to hear your nostalgia one, but my memory card's about to run out of memory soon. We got like 7 minutes left, so Justin.
Yeah.
Well, I could be cliche and say the game you all think I'm going to say, and that's The Last of Us.
Right.
That's what I was
And that's the one I'm gonna say. So.
No, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say this one game that Grim Fandango? It could be. I felt so many emotions in that game, let me tell you. It was more relief that I finally finished it. No, it's the ultimate game that there has never been a game ending that has just made me feel like 8 different emotions at once, and that was the Mass Effect 3 ending. And that was a mixture of like sadness, relief, anger, confusion. There's so many things going on. Why did BioWare do this to me? Why did all these choices I had made through the first, through the 3 games mean nothing? But at the same time, it was just sad because the shepherd was dead, and all these people are lost out in space, and all these different things, and
BioWare's just sitting like,
yeah. That's exactly how they were. But I mean, that game right there, because Mass Effect is one of my all-time favorite franchises, and it is easily the most. I don't know the word for it. Like, it was the best franchise to me from last generation. Mass Effect 3 was the ending. It was the way the game ended. It was the way they wanted it to end. Maybe the fans didn't like it. I really still don't know how to feel about it. It was I felt more sadness than anything, but that's the way I'm going to end it. And that's the way I'm going to end this podcast, because Trevor's staring me down right now.
No, you're fine.
Even to the
4
depths of
minutes
myself.
left.
No, it's okay. This is the end of the podcast. We're Sadistic Pixel. This is Zach Dickerson. This is John Allen. This is Trevor Baldwin.
The
you guys should
unofficial
follow
Baldwin brother.
the unofficial Baldwin brother. You should follow them all on Twitter. And then, just grow with us. That's what we want. We're growing as a group. We're going to get better each and every week. We love you guys. Check out our stuff at youtube.com/sadisticpixel. Go to our website, sadisticpixel.com, and check out some of our articles. And just check out our videos that we try and release as often as we can. This is us, and we're saying bye to you, and thank you for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.